What's up, guys? Welcome back again to Dave's Dimension. Welcome back again for another live stream. It's Thursday night. It's not our usual night, but I figured, hey, there's a few YouTubers who actually are taking the night off because they're at New York City Comic Con. I figured, hey, what the hell? Let's jump on at 8 o'clock. We're going to do a short stream. It's not going to be like, this past Tuesday, we went for 3 hours and change. It's not going to be one of those guys. But I said, what the hell? Let's hang out. Let's talk. Let's shoot the breeze. Let's hang out. Let's see what is exactly going on. By the way, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be surprised when wait a minute, Dave's going live? Yeah, I'm going live, guys. So we do have a couple things to talk about, but I literally got off of work around 7 o'clock. I had to take care of a few things. I'm in 3D printing some parts for a new little project. You guys know I'm Ghostbusters, so I'm printing. It looks like it's Gunbox, but it's not a Gunbox for wands. I'm actually going to be doing the arm gauntlet, the Neutrona wrist blaster that Janine wore in Frozen Empire. So I'm actually going to do my little attempt at this, and hopefully I can get everything dialed in, and we'll have a nice little blaster, so I don't always have to wear a proton pack. So, something a little different we're playing around with. So we got a lot of projects going on in the dimension. I still want to do some cell phone videos for you guys, not necessarily talking about the cell phones themselves, but talking about the carriers themselves. T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, hell, maybe we'll even look at Boost, maybe we'll look at Mint. I want to do some videos like that for you guys coming through the pipeline. But before we do that, I figured, hey, what if we just shared this with a few social media platforms? Let's go ahead and do that right now. So I apologize, guys. I didn't really get to share this all over the place, so I'm going to do that right now. First things first, we're going to go ahead and we're going to drop it in the old Facebooks. Let's do a little bit of a live stream. Got a few Facebook groups that I'm in, so I'm going to drop the links there, see what happens. Hold on a quick second, guys. I hope everyone's doing good on this Thursday night. Thursday Night Live. It only happens once on Blue, so let me just go ahead and drop these links. And we'll see if we can get some people to join us. I didn't make a proper thumbnail. I just used the default thumbnail for the channel. So we just threw that in. So we'll see if we get some people coming. I'm sure a lot of people are not even aware that I'm even doing this. I kind of decided to do it on the spur of the moment because there's a couple of things I want to talk about, but also, guys, there's a fundraiser that me and Dre of the Collector Safe Space are doing, and I want to talk about that. I want to try and get that out there for everyone and everyone to like. Share, comment, and hopefully donate to. There's this great initiative that was started last year called the, basically, we were calling it the School Lunch Fundraiser. If I can type straight. And we're doing that again this year, okay? We're doing it again this year, but this year, we're trying to get some, basically, long story short, let me just throw this up instead of just talking about it. What do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and pull it up right here. That's what happens when it's just you, yourself, and I running the running everything. Let's go ahead and move it right here. So Dre and I are doing this. We're doing the school lunch fundraiser. Okay. What it is the link is right there. And by the way, the link is also in the video stream description below. Where can you donate? You're going to go to frac.org/healthy-school-meals-for-all. That's where you're going to go. You're going to donate. You're going to make a $10 donation right there, either with your computer using your snipping tool or with the old almighty cell phone. You're going to take a picture of your donation once you've completed it, and then you're going to message it to either Dre at the Collector Safe Space or Dave's _dimension, either one of us on Instagram. You're going to include your screen name and you're also going to include your real name. Now, we are going to be doing a giveaway. We're going to be doing an extended live stream sometime in early November. Don't worry, we will notify every person who has donated and entered when the stream is going to be so they can be there. You do have to be live. You have to be present during the stream. You can be in the chat so that you can respond. Okay? We will do an elimination wheel, last person standing, and the winner is going to win our mystery prize box. Dre is actually working to procure some potential Mythic Legions. So we do have a Mythic Legions box in the works, and that's going to be our grand poobah prize. It's going to be one grand prize, but guys, this is about school lunches. That's the thing. This is about school lunches. This is about kids, various schools struggle with the various funding, school programs, physical education, you name it, just about art programs. Everything is always kind of cut down, kind of restricted. And also among those are school lunches. And we got the number one lurker right here. Dre, the Collector Safe Space. He's actually at work right now, so shh, be quiet, guys. Whoa. Looks like we have somebody entering the stream.
What's up, Dave?
Is the Ozum one himself, Ostradamus?
What is going on, brother?
Well, I figured usually Thursday nights in the toy community we have a Hey Archer and Nerd Affiliated. They usually do a stream, but he's actually at NYCC, so figured I would come on and do a little pushing, shoving with the school lunch fundraiser. How are you doing today, sir?
I am doing wonderful. Getting ready for a huge week of streaming coming up, bud.
Yeah, you have like a big marathon, don't you?
Well, I got tomorrow night. We're doing Let's Go Off-World podcast over on the Just Shelve It channel. Of course, Saturday night we'll have the usual clubhouse shenanigans. Sunday night, I'm joining my co-host of the Frenzy, Bobby Dangerously, on his channel, as it is the 1 year anniversary of his channel.
Okay.
So he invited me on as being one of his big supporters, and he's going to do like an Ask Me Anything kind of deal. So I got that going on Sunday. Then I'm going to take a few days off. And then next Thursday, the Frenzy will be back with our Halloween episode. And then Friday and Saturday, that's the big streamathon. Man, that's a lot to do in a week.
Streamathon? Do you mean this little thing right here? The Toys for Tots Streamathon?
Oh, I believe that would be the one we're talking about. A Punk with Toys hosting a 36-hour streamathon starting at 12 p.m. on Friday, running all the way through Saturday. And the way he's got this thing set up, we learned a lot from the 24-hour San Diego Comic-Con stream.
Mm-hmm.
He's got it broken down into 4 chunks so that you'll be able to go back and watch it after we do the stream, unlike the San Diego Comic-Con stream. And he's invited us to do our shows that would normally run during these times on his channel. So that's something really cool.
Got Dark Lycan in the chat. So is he doing it in that way so he can get a couple hours shut-eye while you guys are running your shows?
Yes, basically he could have some downtime and he won't need to be talking 36 hours straight. We all know Punk loves to freaking ramble, but
Punk? No.
no, not Punk. But yeah, it's going to be a really fun and exciting thing.
Hey, Rolando. We got Rolando in the chat, multiversal moderator.
That's right, man. That man is a legend. Talk about me being all over YouTube. He beats me by a lot.
I mean, if you ever saw The Matrix, that's Rolando's house. I mean, he's wired. Right? I tell people he's in streams that have not even been scheduled yet. He's backwards, forwards. He is the time continuum.
I have no idea how him and Nolan is another one.
Okay.
If these guys are not in your chat when you live stream, you are not officially ToyTube.
Yeah, it's like I've seen people share photos and say that this is Rolando. It's like a person on a bike, and then they have like 30 cell phones or tablets connected to the bike.
Yep.
So
Yep.
they're like moderating doing a whole like that's Rolando. He's anywhere and everywhere.
Insane. I don't see how they can do it. I mean, I'm pretty good, but I'm not that damn good.
I mean, my first charity stream I did, the first big one was I think I ran about 10 to 11 hours.
Yep.
And I thought that was something. Next year I did 8 hours. I've done some 8-hour streams, but still being wide awake. So 36 hours.
It's intense.
That'll be something. And I may be doing something along those lines come next spring because I do the Stream for the Cure for Roswell Park here in Buffalo. Last year did not turn out as well as the previous year, so I think I'm going to be changing things up a little bit. And I think I'm just going to do some marathon streams, like just a Saturday and a Sunday. I'll just probably spend maybe 24 to 36 or even 48 hours and, do some crazy things,
Sign me up if you need somebody to hang out with you for a bunch of those hours. I got it.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what we're going to do this year because past couple of years I've done Ride for Oslo. I've done the Canadian route where you go actually from downtown Buffalo over the border or Peace Bridge into Canada, ride along Canada, then back over the Rainbow Bridge by Niagara Falls, back to the States, back to University of Buffalo, which is about 44 miles.
Whew.
So, I mean, this year I think I'm going to do one of the more country routes, which I think is still about 35 to 40 miles. So it's about 4 hours of bike riding. But the stream itself, I'm trying to find what's going to be a good way to bring people in. I am tooling with the idea of doing a Hot Ones YouTube edition.
Oh, okay.
So that could be fun. Well, try and just spice it up because I know there's so many of us out there that's the thing with YouTube. I mean, there's about a billion of us who are pretty much doing roughly the same thing.
Yeah,
some of us get it out before the others, and then there's some of us who we just want to give our perspectives on things, but we also just want to have we're not the corporate shills. We're not going to say any names. we're not the corporate shills, but we like to kind of give just the average guy's point of view, or average guy or girl or they point of view, and just have a great time about it.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
But I'm glad to see Rolando's here. I know he's going through he's going through some health changes right here, and I've already told him if he needs anything. I mean, everyone in our group, in our Instagram chat. I mean, there's so many different chats out there of people who will do whatever they can for Rolando because he's always there, sharing links, helping moderate. So anything he needs. I've already told him anything he needs, just say the word, it's going to happen.
Oh, we'll make it happen. That's for sure.
Except that Only Figs page. I'm not doing the Only Figs page. I'm sorry. I just won't.
Look, I'm not going to say I won't. There's room on the table for it.
I mean, you're not going to say you won't because you already have, right?
I mean, Osley fans,
Hey, it's a thing.
Yep. We all got your back, Rolando. You're always there for all of us, man. We got you.
Speaking of which, I know you're a Ghostbuster fan. Did you see that Ohio, one of the Ohio Ghostbuster groups, they finished their Ecto 1A?
Oh, did they? Oh, wow.
Yeah, they've been working with Ecto Tech, which is the Ecto mechanic for New Jersey.
Yep.
He's the one that drives around all over New York City in his 59. Mm-hmm. And now they've done theirs now. See if I can pull that up.
Yeah, pull that up. Let's show that beauty off. The Ecto 1. So iconic.
I can brag. I rode in one last year to New York City Comic-Con.
Oh, man, that is such a hard flex. I mean, as a Ghostbusters fan, I've dreamed since I was a little kid of having one of those sitting in a garage. Like, yes. And I'd love to take it out.
Well, yeah,
You
during
know
the
what,
winter
though?
months, it would have to sit in the garage.
I will say I got to give people credit, like, because you see those people that ecto up other vehicles, right? And even though, no, it's not
Oh,
the iconic ecto one,
you don't have to tell
there's
me. My group,
still,
we have 3 Ectos right now. There's
uh,
a Subaru, which the owner of that actually he drives it as Uber. No
okay,
joke.
okay. That, hey, you know what? That's worth
We
the
have another
cost right
one that
there.
has a Jeep Grand Cherokee that is done up as Ecto 1A. He's got the
Okay,
fish and he's got the expanded equipment on his. And then we have
nice.
another guy who is changing a GMC Terrain into an Ecto. So I'm trying to see if I can find the video here.
Gotta love that, man. We had this one guy. I went to a shopping center. It's in this little area called Towson, and driving through, and he came through, and like he's I can't even remember what kind of car it is because it's slightly
Uh,
newer, like maybe
It was
about
Northern
10
Illinois,
years.
not Ohio. Here we go.
Okay, okay. Oh man. Oh, there it is. There it
Can
is.
I make this bigger? There we go.
Oh, look at that.
Those who might be watching this are wondering about it is like, trust me, making an Ecto 1A, that's gotta be double the toughness of making an Ecto 1 because one, you gotta get the LED boards on the side.
Hmm.
You have to change out the regular lights. You got so many extra light bars you're putting on there. There's so much more that you're doing there. Changing out the radar dome, the large canister that rides on the back. You have big red extended bumper on the back of it.
And
So,
finding or manufacturing certain items on there too,
oh
if you
yeah.
can't find them, it's a lot of work that goes into those. Like the first one, the Ecto One, they really just slap whatever on top, and you can find stuff that's suitable and it works. But there was a big change up going into Ghostbusters 2 with Ecto 1A, and
Well, let's also parlay that. Well, let's segue into
yeah, yeah, that's
the
perfect.
HasLab because
This
that
is
way
nuts.
people can see pictures of this is the Ecto One, and I'm sure someone or someone's got fired from from Hasbro for these leaks,
Well, you know what though? I also think that sometimes it's
or
intentional, right?
or
Start
or
getting the
they
buzz.
or it was a Ryan Reynolds type maneuver. Let's get it out there because once it's out there, they have to embrace it. They have to acknowledge it. Then,
Yeah, right?
but
Exactly.
what killed me was the lights. How freaking bright those lights are. I don't know if that's a filter. If they are this bright, that's a
I'm
freaking
just
nightmare.
saying
The
if they actually look like that with that diffusement so they don't just look like LEDs,
yes,
that
they
is
have
that
to
is part of it.
because I'll be honest. I have the Ecto 1 and 1A for Playmobil, and
Yep.
I said if they don't have lights and sounds, it's gonna fail. And I've been
You,
saying for weeks that who's gonna buy a vehicle for a line that is defunct because we didn't have anything for what about a year and a half, and then
yeah,
gave us figures. We don't know what conditions these figures are going to be under. Are they going to do a separate line? Are they going to maybe? Because my whole thing is that, and I'll bring that up in a minute. But take a look
yeah.
at this. This like everything just looks. Now here's the thing. They always say with the HasLab, oh, we're still in development. We don't have electronics like for the two in a box at GB Day. They kept saying, "Oh, we just had the physical representation. We don't have the electronics yet." They already have it right here.
Yeah.
They're already
This looks
showing
like
it
it's a
off.
project they've been working on for
Yeah.
a while.
I mean, the inside that we're gonna get dome lights on the inside, so it's gonna I mean, this looks fantastic. My
Just the
only
fact that you can fit figures in the back.
6-inch figures, well, here's the thing, we see 3 right now. Will we be able to fit all 4? That's gonna be a question we'll have to find out eventually. But I
Right?
mean, even if you can't, I mean, you could just like I have a firehouse facade. made by Duffman's Diorama. And I will at least get one Ecto so I can have it in front of there with the figures. But I mean, this looks fantastic. We got the radio here with the little wire hanging down. I mean, everything looks friggin' fantastic. I love
Yeah.
that we're getting new figures. Obviously, these are prototype figures because we were discussing that on Tuesday nights. That it was pointed out that you can see pins in the shoulders. We can see pins in the shoulders there, so we know that these figures, and let's be honest, they can do a better Egon than this. The glasses on the previous Egons looked way better. So obviously, I'm going to say that these are just fill-ins, but they look pretty damn good. The Gray Lady from
Right. The library.
I was saying that it looks like there has to be an LED light under her because she's glowing. She's got
right.
doesn't look to her because anyone that got the Egon, the family that busts together with Phoebe and Ghost Egon, knows that he was very dim. He was a dim looking color unless you put an LED light behind him.
Right.
But
and
the fact we're getting her GB1, we're getting GB2 Lewis in the Egon suit.
Yep.
I mean, and for the first time ever, Plasma Series Ghosts.
Yes, like
Plasma
actual ghosts, because we've had Gozer.
Well,
and we've had the Terror Dogs, the build
Gozer and the Terror Dogs, and during the Afterlife, we did have the build a figure, which was a partially translucent, like a demon, more like a guardian Terror Dog, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah.
He was, or it was standing upright. I love the stack of books here. I love. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that make great dioramas. I would love to see them do like a little scene, like how was it? Is it Dave's Miniatures that does like the really small sceneries, the dioramas on a Instagram? I would love to see someone try and do like little, like maybe a little section of library. You have cases, and then you have like the card catalog. You have like little slime or dripping instead of
the ectoplasm.
But one thing I will say, it looks like I think essentially what they kind of done, maybe for the most part, is some of the items they took from the 3 3/4 scale and they upscaled it, such as the gurney here. They do show the packs in the gurney, but it's going to be interesting to see how exactly they're going to fit because they have those. The packs can come off the figures. However, they have the molded plastic straps from the Alice frame. They kind of stick out so far. So it's going to be interesting to see how they actually fit. Unless they're going to have some fill-ins. I mean, like right here, we can see it looks like the regular packs that they're wearing. So that's going to be interesting to see. I like that they are including the safeguards on here, or the lifeguards, I should say. I mean, the bumper looks great. I mean, this all looks great right here. I can see that on the way the door mechanism is. It is like the 3 3/4 scale Ecto, because there is a bar that kind of slides out, but that makes sense.
Probably just fully upscaled. Like that might be how they've got so far along with it. They're like, all right, we've already made it for 118. Let's just upscale exactly that, and that also explains the pins in the figures.
Yes, so that they have more movements, that they can move up. It's basically like a 6-inch O-ring figure, so to speak.
Exactly.
With those pins, because you're going to need those kind of arm movements to to get the packs on and off as easily. I mean, you can do it, but it's kind of a pain to try to peg that one side back on. But one thing I love here is all the lights here. Those have to be separate LED wires being run all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, they like to have everything lit up as it is. I mean, we have the wing lit up. We have, the rear lights. Everything just looks, I mean, just on pictures alone, whether it's movie magic or not, it looks freaking fantastic. I mean, I'm trying to wonder, like, is this just like one of the, like the reflective kind of stickers? You turn it sideways and you see something different, but even with the three dotted lines going across, like the board is changing. I think that looks great. Now let me ask your opinion. Are they going to do 2 ectos, or is this going to be a stretch goal or an additional kit you buy? Because we had Rick from Left Coast Graphics on Tuesday. His thought was that maybe it'll be an additional pack because they did something similar with HasLab with the Cantina, where they had the Cantina HasLab, but then they also had a deluxe version where you got like an expansion kit, so to speak, to have like more seats in a back wall section. So do you think the Ecto 1A is going to be like an expansion pack?
It could be an expansion, or it could be stretch goal.
Okay. I mean,
Right? Like, I think, it could go either way with this.
let's see, my thing with given the stretch goals that they've done in the past, the stretch goals have not been that fantastic. When it comes to the Ghostbuster, because I mean, we've had one stretch goal was some stickers and Egon's handbook, which was just like a very thin paperback. Another stretch goal was, you get the stand for the pack. Another stretch goal was the hose, connecting the connection hose from the pack to the wand. I mean, it was kind of like, well, what's the sense of getting the pack unless you're getting that to connect to the Spangler wand? Some of the stuff
Right.
it should have been stuff that should have automatically been given.
Sure.
With
But
two in a
they
box.
learn. They learn, right?
Well, with 2 in a box, look what they did. You had to hit the stretch goals to get the holsters for the trap in a PKE. So those are some things that I'm hoping maybe they learned and went different routes. Because here we go. I'm going to pull up the Cantina. Even though I'm no longer collecting Star Wars, and I never did the vintage collection, but they were. Let me see if I can find where it was. They had, I think it was all the way at the bottom.
Well, yeah, they gave you
Yeah.
the complete second side to the
Yeah, like
cantina.
I think this was it, like
Yep.
this stuff right here for the
Yeah.
deluxe. Yeah, the deluxe pack. But wait, there's more. There's a deluxe pack. So when Rick mentioned that and he says, they did that for Cantina, we pulled it up. So I'm like, okay, I could see something like that. Maybe it is going to be a deluxe pack. And that would make sense because there was that leak the week before where we had a few people in Ghostbusters News also talked about it, where there was on the European Hasbro Pulse, they had a listing for a play set. One was a regular, one was a deluxe. So that could give credence to this. But I can't see them doing actually 2 separate HasLabs, technically speaking. It just doesn't make sense. Logistically, I can never see them do it. And if they were going to do it, there's only one brand I could see them successfully pulling it off with, and it's G.I. Joe.
Well, it's
G.I.
because
Joe is
G.I. Joe's
king of
batting
HasLabs
1,000
right now. Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't lost a single one.
Them and Transformers. I think those are the only 2 that are like, they are neck and neck right now. Transformers, because, and here's the thing, with Transformers, all their HasLabs have been the HasLabs that are, if you're a completist or if you're someone that is, you didn't just watch Generation 1 in seasons 1 through 3 here in the States, but you also continued with the comic books and with the all the the Eastern imports from Japan. Let's be honest.
Exactly.
So I mean,
yeah, it's a lot of super rare stuff.
if you, I mean, a lot of the ones that they've done have been like stuff that maybe you know of and maybe you don't. But I mean, like obviously with Star Wars, they still have a strong hold on Star Wars. Unless they blow up a cantina in the next show or movie, who knows?
Yeah.
Well,
with Star Wars, there's a lot of misses with that, and it comes down to more. And I'm not riding the whole blame Disney bandwagon, but because Disney and Star Wars themselves,
they dropped this BS today. Oh yeah, let's keep doing crossovers, and okay, we're gonna make Mandalorian into a Transformer. Obviously, it was gonna happen. It was bound to happen. But
Well, they've done Star Wars Transformers in the past too, so it's not
yeah,
unheard of. It's
no, but
and it's fun for
I'll
kids.
I'll be honest, I'm getting a little tired with some of their crossovers. Now, this has come from someone who does have both versions of Ectotron, the Ecto Transformer, because they did a re-release where he was rusted and they swapped a few of his colors. And I do
Yeah,
have the Gigabyte, or was it Gigatron? I think maybe it was the Back to the Future one.
right,
Uh,
right.
the
Well,
Turtles
in
ones,
those
I
two
would like to.
properties.
The Turtles ones, I would like to, but not for $50 a pop.
Well, the other thing is too, it's like look at the property, right?
Yeah.
So Ghostbusters fans don't get a lot of love. So we
Oh
tend
no.
to like try to buy up whatever we can when we
Yeah.
can because there's a certain amount of
Yeah.
scarcity.
Well, I mean, like we
Ninja
went.
Turtles are everywhere though.
Yeah, Turtles has always had a strong presence. I mean, the NECA Turtles were always my weakness. The movie
Hmm.
Turtle.
Oh yeah.
I
I
still
was
want to
just
get
looking at
the.
Casey Jones on the dirt bike, man. I was just looking at a picture of that, and I'm like, "Ooh,
Uh, I unfortunately my Kino when I got him, the Kino with the
the
moped.
scooter."
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the scooter. Yeah, his arm broke.
Oh no.
So right out of the box, I'm like, mm, mm. And I waited to open him up. I didn't open him up right away. And then like after effects, it's like someone's like, "Oh, why don't you just call?" I'm like, "It's months since I bought it. I don't even have the receipts or anything." I'm not even gonna worry about it right now. But I mean, Transformers. I used to be a big Transformers fan. And then I started to see some of the quality decline, and I actually sold all my masterpiece figures. Titans Return. I even had Triptychon. I had, I had all that stuff, and I just went. I was like, no. That's when I funded my first 1-to-1 scale proton pack, which was not the HasLab, but the company called Ben and Kent. The pack
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
it's probably about a 45 to 50 pound proton pack.
Yep.
So it's got weight on
Yeah.
it. So I mean, I built that thing, and that's why I took my money. I was like, because I'm an unboxer. I don't leave anything in box.
No.
And we just had a con this week, in fact, and Dre had me looking for stuff for him. There was, and I told him, I said, I'm not going to find anything. I told him ahead of time, I'm like, I'm probably not going to find what you want me to find. No, because I've never seen anyone sell Mythic Legions here in Western New York. Not ever.
Yeah.
No, I've seen
You would
Mythic
have to
Legions
have.
once, and that was at Fan Expo. But even
Mhm.
for some reason, the retailer was like, he wasn't allowing people to step behind the tables to see what he actually had. So
Well, that's a little weird, but
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Well, it's Fan
Yeah, with
Expo,
Mythic
Toronto.
Legions, it's because there's only a handful of official authorized retailers. So there's going to be certain conventions that you
Yeah,
go to. There's just not going to be a real presence there. And with the third party pricing of that stuff, chances are it's just going to sit on the table. The people within the community, they kind of know the schedule of where they're going to, where the four horsemen themselves are going to be, like where they have street teams.
yeah.
Um, so like, your better shot is looking at their schedule and see if you know anybody going to those conventions, because
Now
those are going to be
I want to
that's where
bring
you're
up
going to get your deals.
Rolando. He's talking about Vern, also known as Oakhurst Studios, saying that
Hmm.
Vern thinks that they're going to be 4-inch figures because of the pins in the arms. I will say this: if they turn out to be 4-inch figures, I think a lot of people are going to pass. I think a lot of people are going to pass. That doesn't mean it's not going to sell, but I think a lot of people are going to kind of be, they're going to be disappointed. They're going to be upset.
Right.
I
Yeah, because we're kind of looking for that plasma series 6-inch
Yeah.
scale. We want the 112.
I mean, here's the thing: they already have released an Ecto One without lights or sounds that is 3 3/4 scale right now. They have it on the site.
Yep.
So that's my reasoning as to why it's not going to be. Now, if they went with pins in the arms, it will allow a little bit more flexibility, a lot more movement in the figures. And here's the thing: it shows all four of the guys in the gray suits. I think the extra posability, the extra movement is going to be needed, especially if maybe as a stretch goal they give us Ray and Winston with the slime blowers. I think those would be great
Yeah.
as a stretch goal surprise. Because you can see all four guys in regular proton packs, but in the movie, we didn't see all of them wearing gray suits with proton packs. We only saw them with
Yep.
the khaki suits with the packs. Because
Yep.
whenever we saw them in gray suits, they were standing like when they're in the jewelry store, or when they're collecting slime that's coming down outside steps, or we would see the only time we saw them with the khaki suits were with the packs. So I mean, that
Yep.
is, I mean, yeah, that could be a little bit of a stretch and a little bit of a deep dive, but sure. But I mean, that's the thing, like you said, not a lot of Ghostbuster stuff, and we went through a drought where I think we had Maddie collectors.
Hmm.
As I was showing off one of mine on to show what the scale is between Maddie and Plasma series.
Yep.
But I mean, and this is one thing I mentioned, that they could do the courtrooms guy. They could do the guys in the courtroom in their civilian clothing, right?
Yep.
They could do that as a separate line. There's so much that they could do to stretch out Ghostbusters 2 as two, maybe even potentially three lines, but I think realistically two. Same thing with Ghostbusters 1, they could stretch that out. There's a lot they could do. I mean, we had Maddie Collector, and then we had Diamond Select. And
Yeah.
then it was dead. It was just dead silence.
Nothing
It was a
for
graveyard for
several
collectors.
years.
I did have some of the Diamond Select, but they weren't the greatest. They were terrible standing up. You'd have to have a flight stand or something to hold them up
Keep
proper.
them up.
And by the way, anyone who's in the chat, because I see quite a few people here. We got, of course, Rolando. Dre is hanging out in the chat. I know he's still at work, I believe. But if anyone wants to hop in and join us, the link is in the video description below. So please feel free to hop in. We got Darth Blaze in the house. He does a lot of great video game streams. He's a collector himself. We got Megadan collects.
Nice.
But here's one thing. Bringing back the old Transformers is pulling on my heartstrings just a little bit. But those strings are put back into place once I see the prices.
Well, I feel like they've tugged on them a little much, right? Like, how many reissues of G1 are we going to get? And I get it. Like, that's your bread and butter. You kind of keep wanting to put it out. There's going to be people who missed it last time, so you want to run it around again.
$25 for a little small pint size, Bumblebee.
It starts running into the same problem that
$35 for this Insecticon.
One of the reasons I was never a big Transformers collector, or got a lot of Transformers toys as a kid, was because they were expensive.
Yeah.
So like the only ones that I ever got were the really small ones, and even those were kind of expensive.
G1 Prime, and I'll be honest, his trailer does not look that great.
Yeah, but I still kind of want it though.
You do, but for $75, you know what I'll do? I'll wait for about a year or two from now and check out Ollie's. No joke. I got Optimus from what was it? Was it Siege on Cybertron, or one of the lines? One of the lines they did. He was like a $50 or $70 figure, and they had him for like $12. So
well, it was kind of like Kenner Classics, right? When they did the real Ghostbusters, when they put those out. I was unemployed, and I was going around, and my buddy Ziggy, my collector in crime, as Larry and Michael from Toy Habits used to say. I was collecting off of his generosity. So we'd go out, and this is just when Origins is hitting.
Okay.
COVID's out. So we're going around, and he's buying me figures, but it's, we're looking for Masters of the Universe because that was my first passion. Ghostbusters was number 2. And there were a couple times where I could have ended up getting all 4 of them, but never grabbed them because I was like, no, we're hunting for Origins. I grabbed the Ghostbusters here, and then we're going to go to another store and I'm going to see Origins. And I'm not going to, ask Chris to be like, oh, can you give me those too?
Yeah.
So I just kind of passed on them. And then by the time I started working, you couldn't find them in stores anymore. They were gone. I was like, shit, I've lost my opportunity.
Well, when those
And
Origins were coming out, when they did that, bringing back He-Man Masters Universe, the original figures, I grabbed a bunch of them, not for myself,
right.
for Mrs. Dimension.
Oh, nice.
So, I mean, because it reminded her of her childhood.
Yeah.
And there's a funny story. Speaking of Transformers, my wife, when we first started dating, she got me an Optimus Prime. It was from Combiner Wars, as like the first Christmas gift, right? And she told me the story. She's like, yeah, it was kind of fun, going to the store and looking at the different Transformers because I know you collect them. And she tells me a story. She's like, yeah, I had a Transformer when I was a kid. I was like, oh, really? Because I was like, I think in my back of my head, maybe I could find one for her, right? She was like,
Yep.
yeah, it was this one that turned into a plane. And then when she told me the colors, I was like, oh, that wasn't an Autobot. That wasn't a good guy. It was Skywarp.
I was going to say, but the
it was Skywarp.
Cool anyway. Yeah, got to get your seekers on.
Yeah. So I'm like, I had got her like the Combiner Wars version of him, which like she kind of gave up because obviously Transformers now it's more than 5 steps to change them. So
yeah.
But
even as a kid, I remember them being kind of
because she has her collection and I have my collection. But that's the thing. It's like, I mean, yes, I would love to have Optimus because I never had Optimus as a kid.
Right. And I always wanted them.
Even the G1 Optimus, I never had him as a kid because like literally I didn't have a whole, like I had like secondhand Transformers,
Yeah.
I had what was it, Scattershot, which was one of the Technobots that Grimlock built. I had like one of them. I had was it Crosshairs? He was like part of the Target Masters line. Like I had like 1 or 2 of those, and that was it. So like when Titan Returns came around and they started kind of re-releasing a lot of them, I kind of went all in. I did buy the knockoffs. I'll admit. I know some people look at people who buy the knockoffs as sacrilegious, but hey, if you're gonna open them up, it's not like you're holding on to them for resale.
Yeah.
You just want them just for your collection because it reminds you of the cartoons and you just reliving your childhood, then have at it. I had a couple Optimuses that were the knockoffs. Like I had a really large one, and I had an all black Megatron that turned into a black tank.
Ooh, nice.
He looked actually pretty badass. But I mean, that's the thing. It's like for some of the prices of these, you can probably find like a knockoff on Temu or something like that for a lot less. I mean, but and that's the thing. These are reproductions. They're not going to be 100% true. But like what you said, when Real Ghostbusters was reissued, I have the Ecto, but the Ecto I have is actually an original Ecto. A friend of mine bought a couple Ectos at yard sales, and he fixed them up because he wanted to try out this new treatment where you can kind of like make them perfectly white again. You pour a solution, you leave it outside, the sun kind of does like a chemical reaction to kind of like
it's peroxide solution.
Yeah. So he had one. He said, well, I have an extra one. Are you interested? I'm like, yeah. So I had bought the reissue Ecto, which is still sealed in its box. So that's still something I'm actually trying to see if I can clear some space for. But it's I still have to unbox my my Kenner the Fright feature figures.
Yep, I did unbox all of those.
I bought those, but I still haven't opened them up yet.
Yep, I did open up all of those because I did get those this time around while they were in stores. You could still find them in stores. I ended up picking all of the original run of the Kenner's classics, including all the ghosts, from Ollie's. And my girlfriend at the time, Dawn, she managed to find them all down by her. I was going around and I wanted to buy all 4 of them, but I only knew of like one Ollie's. They had 3, and then another Ollie's, they had 3, and it was the same 3. I didn't want to just go out and buy 3 of them and never get that 4th one. And I'm sure you know who it probably was. Nobody had Venkman. And then over time, like nobody had them. By the time I finally found a place that had Venkman, the other ones didn't have it. So I couldn't just do the clean sweep and get them all.
Well, like the Fright feature ones is like Egon was the most plentiful one you could find, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
But maybe it's from people remembering how easily his tie broke. Who knows?
I was going to say, I'm so happy to have him back in my collection because that was my Egon as a kid was that version. And the tie broke. So I'm so glad to have him back in the collection now as an adult. And I swear to God, I'm not messing with that fucking tie.
So this is the 3 3/4 scale Ecto.
Yeah.
Okay. When I look at this and I look at the other one, no, I personally cannot sign off saying that they're the same scale. I mean, I could be wrong. It all depends on the scale, like the angle of the photos and everything.
Are they using the same dio for the shots? Because that will honestly be the tell.
Oh, let's go back. See, this dial looks like it's much more wide open, but that could be
the angle of the shot. There is a good chance that maybe this could be. Is there another shot with that fire hydrant that was in the other one?
See, here's the fire hydrant here, right?
Right.
It looks relatively small.
It does.
But also, if you look at it, a lot of these photos are kind of angled upwards. The shots, obviously, are more overhead or overview, whereas these they're right close to the ground. So, I mean,
you know what though? I think there's a good possibility it could be 4-inch scale.
I will say this: I know a lot of people who will be tremendously upset because, I mean, from things that I've heard, realistically, for at least one Ecto, you're talking the ballpark of what it costs for the Proton Pack.
Well, there's no way if they're going to release it at that price, it'll be a 4-inch.
Yeah.
Unless they're coming with a full Firehouse dio with it.
Yeah. That's the thing. From rumblings I've heard from various people, that it's not gonna, if it was $150, I mean, let's say if it was like hell, the G.I. Joe Vamp or the Cobra Hiss, or not the Hiss, but the
the Hiss. The Hiss was the HasLab.
No, but I'm thinking of the Jeeps that they did recently.
Oh,
those
so
were
about
those were about 100. Those were about 100. I think the Vamp was 99, and then the Cobra version I think was just slightly more. But I mean, I mean, those are 6-inch vehicles. Are you going to tell me that you're going to make a? I mean, not that they haven't done it before, but I mean, if they were going to do, I could see if they're doing a 4-inch, a 3 3/4 scale Firehouse with a basement for the containment units, or if they actually did something that was bigger than or more in depth than the Playmobil Firehouse, then I could see that being a 4-inch play set that they could do as a HasLab.
Which, mind you, that Playmobil play set's a good one.
Oh, I have it right over here. I
gotta say, I like the Playmobil one more than the original one. And I slept on the Playmobil ones.
I have both of the Ectos.
Oh, I wanted to get them.
You can still find them, actually.
And yeah, you can. And you can find them at reasonable price, too. But, it's just a thing of space. It's like, as much as I'd like to get them, I just don't have the space for all that stuff anymore.
I love how simplistic the lights are. I got to change the batteries. That's why they're kind of flickering.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's
the fact that they did the lights on it too,
Well, the siren like I said, I got to change the batteries. I won't play the siren right now, but the siren is right on. It's right on the mark. I have both this one and the other one. Last winter, there were some of these on sale at Sam's Club, believe it or not. And if
No kidding.
I ever see them again, I am literally going to buy one or two because
I might have to hit you up. Let me
they
know if
even
you
did
do.
decals for the Ghostbusters right there on the car,
Yep.
like the LED board
Yep.
for hire. And what I kind of cheated a little bit. I actually took this apart. I took the bottom part off, and I use the Rust-Oleum 2 times silver to give it
Hmm.
more of a chrome look. So I did
Yeah, but
the
it does
complete
look better.
underbelly. Yeah, because I didn't like just the that gray
That
that they
flat
do.
gray.
Yeah, so I mean, I kind of like played around, and that's what I wanted to do. But I mean, I'm really hoping this is a 6-inch because they gave us all those 6-inch figures, the plasma series. It'd be a shame if, I mean, with the success of what they've done with GI Joe, throw the 6-inch plasma series a bone and continue that line. That's my
Well,
thing.
the thing is, it's like we've been begging for it, and
Oh
then it's
yes,
every time they do a HasLab, it's another prop. And mind you, that's not really a
the props have
complaint.
done
Although the
the props have
props,
done well.
you know, they've been out of my price range, unfortunately. Which
Hmm.
hey, that's okay. I don't have to collect everything. I don't have the space
No,
for it. So it's kind of been nice to just be like, I can get an easy pass on that.
well, I
But
like
we've
what they're
been
doing right now with
begging.
this because they have the 84 one right now. It's
Yeah.
124 right now, but because their Halloween sale, if we go to the cart, it actually winds up being $99. So you do shave that off.
Oh, that's nice.
So I mean that saves you $25, and if you happen to have free shipping, uh, which I actually signed up for last year, I
Yeah.
joined their premium, whatever they call it, because I figured there's going to be the occasional Joes I'm going to be buying. I pre-ordered the Vamp when I did, so I saved on shipping there. So it's already paid for itself. I bought a
There you
bunch of
go.
stuff this past year. So, but I
Yeah.
like that the wands can be standalone because you could put batteries in here and just have at it. That's definitely something you could do.
And the fun stuff is too, it's like you can get a really nice wand like that,
Yeah,
and then you can go buy you can go get the rest of the pack at Halloween Spirit
yeah. I mean,
because it's close enough.
that's what some of us did when the Spangler wands first came out. We had like a Spangler, you had like a spirit pack, and you just kind of had an empty loom connecting onto it because what do they include in it is usually a little cap that you can just zip tie an empty black loom on it, and it looks like it's connected. You
Yep.
just make sure
Yep.
you have a switch on your pack to turn the pack on, and then you have the wand with your batteries.
There
Bob's
you
your
go.
uncle.
Exactly. So it's not like it's a bad combo. Which last year I almost bought the Halloween Spirit pack when it was going on sale, but I couldn't find one by the time they were clearanced out.
Of the spirit.
Yeah, the Spirit one, and I
Yeah.
think I may try to do the same thing this year. The
Well,
problem is it's coming right on the heels of Legion's Con, or right
okay. Yeah.
before Legion's Con. So it's like I don't know if I got the money to spend for
Well,
that
I mean,
plus Legion's Con.
I will say this. One, um, sometimes you can go on Facebook Marketplace or the different groups out there,
Uh huh.
and if someone is, maybe they have a slightly damaged pack, buying just the shell, and you can put your own electronics in there. That's something that when I bought my spirit packs, I gutted them. I took their electronics out completely.
Right.
And I've put my own electronics, well, not my own, but electronic sets I would buy, like
Right.
GB
You can
fans,
buy them
and
online.
Frankengeek makes an electronic kit that the holes and everything align perfectly with the stock mounts inside Spirit Halloween.
And you know what the greatest part about that is? Because again, the fandom surrounding Ghostbusters, because we haven't gotten stuff in so long, there's been fans that have been perfecting these things
Oh yes.
for 20 years or more. You know, like they may have been kids when the movies came out. Now they become adults. They've done it. I
Mhm.
mean, I remember back in the days when you used to go to like
Well, sorry about
message
that.
boards, the message boards and everything like that, and
Oh yeah,
everybody's throwing up the instructions on how to do it out of wood.
I'm 3D printing.
Yeah, I was gonna say now you
Uh,
got a 3D printer. I'm not gonna
I'm
lie, it
I'm
was one of the
making the
first things I looked up.
I'm making the wrist gauntlet for the Janine wore from Frozen Empire.
Nice. Very
So
cool. Very cool.
that's the
Which
clip
I
bar valve
like.
that goes on it. This is all one 3D printed piece.
Very nice. And you know what I like about it too is her getting the wrist version in the
Yes.
movie is kind of almost like a throwback to the toys where the Fright
Yeah.
Features Janine had that like little hand wand thing.
That's something I'm a little annoyed with, that we haven't gotten a. Where's Janine? She had a couple figures in a Real Ghostbusters Kenner line. They
Oh
haven't
man,
included her, which is kind
I'm
of,
right there with you. I
you know,
almost picked up one of the ones where she's kind of in the jumpsuit from the trap, the
okay.
trapping subline that they did.
Yeah.
And like I wanted to modify a proton pack, like just buy a use proton pack online or something like that, and then modify it to go on her back as a toy so I could have her with the set.
Well, there are files where people have just printed their
Mhm.
own, you know. People have
Only
been doing
problem
that
is I don't
for a
have a
while.
printer anymore, but yeah.
Yeah.
But
But
I would like to get that because heck, I was just watching yesterday Saturday Morning Max Out, really cool YouTube channel that streams the old cartoons.
okay.
And for this month, once a week, they've been doing Ghostbusters season 1. So they've been putting out those. They had that one with her and the Sandman.
During the pandemic, Buffalo Ghostbusters, we did that.
Yeah.
Every afternoon around 5:00, we were streaming an episode of Ghostbusters, and we would do like trivia and stuff during during the chat, like, hey, what was the color of Janine's car and different stuff like that. Like because during the pandemic, I mean, people were stuck in their houses, maybe working remotely from home. We even had Laura Summers come on, the original voice of Janine.
Wow.
And she's just the coolest ever. She's the coolest ever. If you ever get to meet her at like a con or something, she's done so much work, and she's awesome. She's just amazing. But we did that, and we actually did a run of Extreme Ghostbusters along with it.
Very cool, because even though it was its own thing,
we did like Facebook watch parties. It was just a thing. And it was kind of cool because it was a throwback. Because remember, you'd get home after school to watch cartoons and whatnot. So it was.
Oh yeah.
It was something fun, and a lot of people got into it. One of our teammates, for a short while, he was even buying flight suits and dyeing them the RGB specific colors.
The colors. Yeah.
So he had like the two-tone, like he had the green for Venkman's collar and the cuffs,
and the brown.
The rest of the suit was brown. Yep. So
I'd love to have one of those, because Venkman was always my favorite. He was more my favorite in the cartoon than the movie.
Venkman and Egon.
Yeah.
Because like there was a few episodes when Egon really he kind of stepped up against Boogeyman, and
I was gonna say Boogeyman, he owned it.
Oh yeah. Plus, I mean, you had the girls going for Egon in the cartoon. I mean, you had Janine and a few others, or like that town when everyone had Egon masks because his ancestor was brought down or captured all the ghosts. His whole family approves. His whole family were meant to be Ghostbusters the entire time. So
true story.
But I mean,
such a good cartoon.
And Maurice LaMarche, I'm glad he's still with us. I mean, who knows what the new cartoon with Netflix is going to hold for us?
Fingers crossed.
Will they have some intervention with Egon's spirits? I don't know. I mean, if it's a kid's cartoon, they might be able to get away with it.
My fingers are crossed. I hope it's going to live up to... I shouldn't say live up to the hype, right? Because no matter what it is, if it's Ghostbusters, I'm going to enjoy it.
Well, yeah,
but
any content Ghostbusters will, we're going to eat it up, to be honest.
Yeah.
As long as they don't... Was it Steven? Was it Stephen Strange, or was it that weird cartoon animation style they did for Thundercats and She-Ra and
right? Well, even the She-Ra I didn't mind so much, but the Thundercats roar.
As soon as I saw the little teaser for it, I was like, nope, no thanks. I mean, I liked the early 2000s reboot that they're trying to do. And
early 2000s
Will Friedle.
great.
It had Will
Yeah.
Friedle as Lionel, and I was
Yeah.
down for it because I loved him in Batman
Batman
Beyond.
Beyond. Right? Oh, shoot, I even
And
loved him when he was dopey in Boy Meets World. Come on.
they had the original Lionel voice his father, which I thought was
Which
just
was great. Great
it
touch.
was. I mean, it's just that thing. But I mean, like with the cartoon, yeah, they could bend the rules. They can bend things a little bit. I mean, they did with the cartoon, but the
Right.
original cartoon was scary though. I mean, we had some really scary images in that. Yeah,
There was a lot.
you
Like,
had. I mean, you had people.
Boogeyman's voice
Oh, jeez, yeah.
terrified me. When he
Um,
popped out and he told Egon, he was like, I remember you. I was like, oh shit.
yeah. Or like, I mean, they kind of, well, they did that for Sam Hain, and I mean, just even like the voice of Sandman was kind of similar, but it was still spooky as hell. Or when the guys
Yep.
wound up in that was at the flip side, which was like the alternate world where
It
there
was
were
the
people
Dead
busters.
Busters. Yeah,
Yes.
People Busters.
And
Oh man, it was so crazy.
I still hold out hope that someday maybe someone like Mondo or someone, depending if their Ghostbuster line does well enough, could we get those figures?
I'm thinking it will. Like the way they're putting it out, I'm figuring we're gonna get. I'm really hoping they do Janine, right? Because I was watching it last night and they did the
Yeah.
Sandman episode. So like we know they're doing 2 packs where you get the Ghostbuster and then the extra large ghost.
But I think like
they should
Janine
do
and Sandman would be good.
Janine would be because she was the one that busted him. Like,
Yeah.
Winston helped. It's one of those
No, but
episodes
she
where
was
like
the one that,
Winston and Janine were the
she
unsung
dreamt of
heroes.
being a Ghostbuster, and she was,
It's either that or the one with the genie, because she also was the one that took down the genie as the boss.
Yep.
But the reason I want her in the one with Sandman, because she had like her own individual jumpsuit, right?
Yeah.
Where like the one where she was the boss,
She wore
she
like Venkman's suit basically. It was brown.
right?
Yeah.
It was a
And you
brown and a
wanted her
green.
to have like, because like in the later when they did Slimer and the Real Ghostbusters, she had like a pink,
A pink suit
dark
with like
pink
red
colors,
trim.
Yep.
Yeah. That's
So,
the version
I mean,
of Janine that I want with a toy.
it's gonna be interesting to see what we get. But like, even looking at this, I mean, it is hard to tell depending on the scale of everything. But the fact that, I mean, imagine if they took like, again, something like this, which this is pretty comparable. Almost, this is slightly smaller than the 3 3/4.
Yep.
I actually have the Afterlife version right here.
Yep. Same thing I got on my
Imagine
shelf.
trying to run wiring in here to
Dude,
make
it's
the lights.
pain. You could do it, but there's not a lot of space
you
for
can do it,
anything
but
else.
It's not the greatest.
Yeah, there's not a lot of space for anything else if you're running those lights through it. And so for them to do full lights and sounds on it, do it as a HasLab, like you gotta have the room for it.
Yeah. And I mean, you got to have a higher quality plastic. Like, obviously, they have, in this photo, they have everything shined because it's got to have that pearl white gloss finish to it,
Well, yeah, it's going to have it look like car wax, as it
Yeah.
should. For a 6-inch scale toy line, attention to detail is a must.
And maybe it's my own wishful thinking. I just think that, for those figures to fit in here, because even in this one, I can't see 3 3/4 fitting in here. I could be wrong.
Right.
Now, another thing we could do is, let me pull a pulse back up.
Well, one thing is they showed the 3 figures inside there. When they did the O-ring one recently, so that's 4-inch, right? 3.75.
Look at how Egon looks here.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have this image here, right? We can see how large that pin is. Because I'm going for scale here, right? If you notice, the way they have the 3 3/4 scale packs here, we have the straps basically on the figures, like molded and painted on. They're not separate plastic,
right? Because they're
parts like they are with
the pack in the back,
the plasma, right?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can pull up some more photos of them. Here we go. So this is like their gurney, and look at their packs. Their packs don't have straps because we can still see the molded straps from the Alice frame on the figures themselves. So that's another
So
reason
that's
why
a
I'm
good
saying,
indicator.
yeah, that's what makes me think that no, it's not going to be that. And taking a look at the guys again, it doesn't really look like we have like much movements. And you look at how the legs kind of are bulging out forwards.
Well, yeah,
The
because you're going
O-ring.
to have that GI Joe
Yeah,
look and feel to them.
and then we'll go back to the. Let me see here. Close this down. You guys don't want to see that. Pull this back up. Let's go back. Get another close up of the guys. See here, the pin is so much smaller. The pin is
Yeah,
much
it
smaller
is.
too, and also we have the
You don't
groove
have the
here.
look.
We have the groove where the leg can actually rotate from here, which we only see in
Right.
plasmas in the 6-inch scale figures. So that again
Right.
makes me think that we're not going to have that. Blue Sasquatch
Also, if
wants
you
to know if
just
this
look
was
at the
live.
detail on the face, too,
Yeah, you can see
right?
it on the face.
A
The
lot more
belt,
detail on that
yes.
face and the belt
The
that
walkie-talkie here.
the
The
O-rings
belt
didn't have.
gizmo.
Yeah, there's no way that's an O-ring figure.
Yeah,
Also, they wouldn't bother to put a double joint. That's a double joint at the elbow, isn't it?
yeah.
So that's something you don't get
Because
with O-ring.
you get your pin right here. You got a pin right here. So I mean, yeah, you got your hinge. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely different. I mean,
Yeah,
it's great for people to say, well, you know, I kind of think this, but let's break it down. What's the likelihood? Because I can't see you spending $300 to $350 potentially on
exactly.
a 3 3/4 figure. Or
Not when they just released again all four Ghostbusters for $40 as a 4-pack, and
that was
they
amazing. I thought
released.
a lot of people thought it was going to be much higher. They
Oh man,
thought it
I
was
was
going to be
thinking
much
like
higher.
80, and they were like, $40, and it's
I
like,
had people thinking like some of us
yeah,
were thinking like 60, maybe 65, given the pricing. Because to
$10
get
a figure. It's
four
beautiful.
figures, that's less than, I mean, think about like what's the cost of one vintage collection figure from Star Wars?
Oh yeah,
Going
exactly.
with
Well,
that
even
as your starting price point,
yeah,
and they took it down, and I love them for that.
yeah.
So I mean,
Well, and the packaging too. Just think of
yeah.
the packaging, right? Because it's collector's packaging on that.
Well, see, that's another question. What kind of packaging are they're $45? So still, that's like $11 a person, roughly, give or take.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but we don't even know what kind of package. What if they're in such great packaging, we don't want to take them out?
Well,
We
that
don't
was kind
even
of
know
my
what
hard part
packaging
with
they're going to
this
be in.
because I really like the packaging for the 4-pack. It was like they're doing it kind of like the VHS. I think they showed off. Wasn't it at San Diego Comic Con? I think they were
Something like
showing it
that.
off.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I kind of don't like. I've gotten to a point now where I am getting rid of my packaging
Yeah.
finally, and it's like,
Well,
don't give me something like that
that
where
was
I'm
me
not
the
going to want to
entire
get rid of the
time.
packaging.
The only packaging I don't throw out is, well, I have Hot Toys, and I'm actually talking with someone right now to do some
Toys
trades.
is a different story. Hot Toys is a
But
different story. You got to save those.
when I found these on on eBay of all places, and I was not paying eBay prices, mind you, I
Yeah.
got these plus the shippers.
Oh
I
no,
have the
kidding!
white
Still had the
shippers.
shippers.
I have the shippers up there on my shelf. Let me see if I can rotate the camera without it fritzing out.
Again,
You
another
can see
hard
the white box
flex
right
from
there.
Dave.
You can see the white box right there for Egon.
Yeah.
So I got all three of them from the courtroom scene, and then I have all three of them from the commercial in part one. So
Very nice. Very nice.
no, I am missing. I think I'm missing Venkman, technically speaking, from the courtroom, but I do have the rookie from the video game because when during the
Cool.
time they had the rookie, so I'm like, I have the rookie. He's still sealed in his packaging. Those I will not open up because all the
That's such a
accessories are right
cool
there.
one-off
They're
too.
just cool. It's Matty Collector from like years ago, so I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good.
I was working at GameStop when the video game released, And we got our little press kit, and I was pissed because my boss was a big Ghostbusters fan. He's like, "Yeah, it's mine," and I'm like, "You're a dick. You get all the shit, and you're still like, oh, this freebie pack we get? No, I'm taking that." But dude, I remember calling up Charm City Ghostbusters, having them come out to the midnight release for the freaking video
Mhm.
game, and just it was so cool because again, like we were starved forever before that video game came out, and they'd been dangling that damn thing in front of us for like a couple of years. Like,
I mean,
this game's coming. This
the
game's
closest
coming.
we got to this stuff right here, the two in a box, was Matty Collector.
Mm-hmm.
I never had any of the Matty Collector stuff. I have teammates that do, but over time, some of that stuff wore down and broke apart. But then the
Well,
resale
yeah.
value for them now is insane. The one thing that we got was we got the Proton Pack, and Mattel never even got that far. They had the
Nope.
wands, which
They
had,
did.
and every one of those pieces, they had the interactive effects. You know, you could
Yes.
do crossing the streams if you have two wand barrels facing each other. You know, with the goggles, you got, you know, you could have like the little Slimer hologram. So you had all that stuff, but like the fact that this PKE is actually going to have an EMF detection,
Right? Like, so you could actually, like,
is-
if you do like a spirit walk or something like that around
I
Halloween,
I have a
ghost
teammate who
tour.
actually does do that. Does do that amateur. He actually
Mhm.
goes to haunted places, and he's got all of his official gear and everything, like, you know, proper EMF
in,
detectors and everything.
in my youth,
Yeah, but I
I
mean,
used
like,
to do that.
one thing I love about this. Okay, we have the stands here. However, the PKE also is supposed to have a threaded port in the bottom of the handle, so you can have a
Mhm.
tripod or something and just have that standing upright the entire time, not even in those plastic stands. Because I'll be honest, those rubber stands, if these are like a hard plastic, like the Proton Pack stand was,
Yeah.
they'll be okay. I think the trap. I don't think I'm going to take the trap out. I might carry the PKE with me when I do events. You know, I might do
You know
that.
what though? I would say leave those kind of like as props at the house because they are so
Yeah.
detailed. And for events where you never know, it might drop or you might bang around.
Yeah.
I'd hate to think that you would damage something like that,
Well,
which is
I
kind of like a
still
masterpiece replica.
I still have my first Spirit Halloween PKE from
Yeah.
like maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Well, I was gonna
And
say get something like that because if you do drop it, well, shit,
Mhm.
they're gonna come out with it again next year
Yeah, but
or whenever we get another movie,
now
right? Like they'll be back in fashion.
the only criticism I have about this HasLab was you couldn't come up with an actual, like, put a loom over this, you know, like little mini coaxial cable setup here.
Or the
Uh,
goggles.
well, the
I get the idea
goggles
was
would have
two
been
in the
cool.
box.
Yeah,
It was supposed to be two in the box, so they didn't want to give you the goggles as well.
but the fact that we have a functional pedal.
That is cool. I got to give them credit for that because that I
Yeah.
did not expect.
I mean, in all honesty, it's not that hard to do.
It's not.
Because no, because when Walmart came out with the Imagine ghost traps by
Yeah.
their Imagine sub brand, they had these really short, like a short wire with like a little like cheap plastic pedal, like you would see, you know, to trigger something like at a Spirit Halloween store or something like that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Well, I cut that pedal off. I opened up the trap and I actually ran like a long, just like a regular electric wire to it, and I bought a safety pedal from Amazon.
Oh, there you go.
I painted that black and red, and we made it about, I think I made it about maybe 10 or 12 feet long. We
As
used
you
it
would want it to be.
we used it during the pandemic for social distancing. We would put a bunch of wrapped candies in it, and I would hit the pedal from a distance so kids could just reach inside the ghost trap and pick candy out when we did like trunk or treats and stuff like that. But I still
That's
have
cool.
it, and you know the paint's worn on it, but it should look, all my props I ever had, I always weathered them.
Well,
That's
yeah,
one
you
thing
want
I
them
always
to
did
look
is
weathered.
you want them to look beat up like they've been using. That's the thing. Like people say, "Oh, well, my pack just got scratched." I'm like, "Well, no, it's weathering. It's
Right?
because my same friend who is a paranormal enthusiast, he also does special effects. Like right now, this is his busy season doing haunted houses. Does
Mm-hmm.
like all the props and effects on people, like all the special effects makeup. He says, "Listen, if something's scratched up, every prop should tell a story." He says, think about it. The proton packs, they weren't built in a scientific lab. They were built in an old dilapidated firehouse with substandard electrical needs. They were not
Yep.
under the perfect conditions. Everything was kind of just like
And they were built out of
patched
scrap
together.
parts,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know,
It
like
was,
that was the whole thing about it. It's not like this was some mass production line thing. I mean, maybe now with, Winston's new role, but
Spirits Unleashed they're about to kick it up the friggin' notch, man. Oh God. I don't know
I mean,
if you've seen any of the news this week.
I've been
Ghostbusters
thinking,
Spirits Unleashed. They are taking it up a notch.
would I
They
get a chance? Because I have a Switch now. I was thinking about getting the game,
well right now
getting all
for
the DLC.
anyone who is on anyone who has Amazon Prime, you get it. You can get it for free.
Oh, really?
They just announced these new packs that are going to be that are like they're calling them the Zedmore packs. Let me see if I can get the sound.
Well, I'm on Amazon Prime. Maybe I need to download that.
Gear shells, 1029. They are like all this is like all modernized proton pack right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I had seen something about that briefly, and I was like, I don't know about this. But you know what? That's all right.
They look really good. I mean, I like the look. You can still see where a lot of the inspiration is from the original packs, but they have that right. The
They
Zedmore gear
almost look
shells.
like a little mix with the 2016 version too, almost.
Yeah. Now, see the Scolari brothers? They just got introduced. They just announced them today. We're getting the Scolari brothers in the video game because there's already when you get up to a certain level, you actually take on Sam Hain.
Nice. Yeah, because wasn't he like released last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, last year I didn't have a Switch. I almost bought one because of it.
I mean, and the thing is, it's going to be interesting to see how they do this. Let me see if I can. Hold on. I don't want that. I want that. It's going to be interesting to see how they do that because usually you have a ghost per level per job, right? And then they can spurt out like little. We call them judges, but just think of them like little minions to try and distract you. Now you're going to have a level with 2 ghosts. And usually some of the ghosts will have 3 to maybe 4, or depending on their strength, maybe 5 portals that you have to close. Because every time you trap them, they can then use one of those portals to kind of remanifest on your plane. Okay. So now that you're going to have 2 ghosts, you can have like potentially 4, maybe
8 or 10,
7 or 8. Yeah.
So
Depending on
that's
how strong they are. So
I have to jump on the bandwagon and get this game because I've been looking at it for years, and I have it
for PS5, but I got the PC version because when it comes to shooters, I do way better with keyboard and mouse.
Yeah, see, I was an Xbox guy,
it's
so
how my hand-eye coordination is. Controllers for fighting games or side scrollers, I'm good with that. But when it comes to like something where you have to accurately shoot, like Fortnite or Call of Duty stuff like that, I have to do it on PC.
No, I was a beast. I used to play semi-pro on the days of Xbox 360 with Halo 3 Griffball.
But how good does he look, though, man?
So good, terrifying.
Because the Sam Hain level, like after you catch Sam Hain, he breaks out of the trap. He breaks out of the trap, and then he pulls you into his dimension, where he's of course trying to achieve, total darkness, just like he does in the cartoon. And the guy
Yep.
that they got to do his voice is amazing. But that's the thing, you can customize. Like you mentioned about the 2016 movie, you can have that gear. You can earn those skins. You want the Extreme Ghostbusters Proton Packing gear. You can earn those skins in the game. There's all these contracts and side hustles you have to complete in order to get them. Like you can have cardboard proton pack. You also
I
have
mean,
to
as long as you can earn it and you don't
yeah.
just have to pay for it.
No, you have to earn it. There's no like, oh, I want to buy the pack. No, there's no earning where you
Good.
there's nothing where you buy the pack. All this
That's
stuff
good.
is earned over time. Even the different like okay, literally right now for Halloween, there's all these masks that you can technically wear as a Ghostbuster. They have all these Halloween skins, and sometimes they'll do them seasonal. You can even make it like here's the latest thing where you can actually mess with the like do makeup on the person's face, make their eyes glow like Peter.
Can you do the spectral Ghostbusters from the one episode?
Not yet. Not yet.
Oh
I say
man.
yet. But here, you can even get the real Ghostbusters pack and one with the
And that's what
trap.
I would run as.
Yeah. So I mean, you can easily like you have like basically you have your firehouse you're in, right?
Yep.
You can make your own team of bots of other Ghostbusters, right? And you can customize them however you like. I have a Janine. I also have a Kylie from Extreme Ghostbusters. I have a Egon and I have a Venkman.
Yep.
So I have a team
That's a
that
solid team.
I can swap out with, and you can change them however you want. You can even unlock the Venkman name badge. You can have whatever your name badge is. You can have Rookie. You can have Vigo. You can have all these different names that you can unlock.
I already played a whole game as the rookie.
I still have that on my computer. Don't laugh.
Oh man, I love that game.
I
It
will
was
still
so
play it.
good.
I will still play it once in a while. But
Yeah. I loved that game, man. Like I said, it was a really fond memory of me working at GameStop when that game came out, and having, man, I'd go home and I'd play that. Like, ran through that campaign. I was hunting down all the unlocks, and the amount of time I spent online playing that game too.
Well, me and some of my teammates, we will play this. Like, we'll once in a while we try and get together and we'll just go through. Like, if someone needs to, oh, you need to get to this level, or oh, you're working on these contracts. It's easier when you have people with you, because like if it's like, oh, I need to slime you. I need to slime a Ghostbuster 20 times. Then we'll just spend that mission where one person is the ghost and you're just standing there so they can attack you that many times so they can. I mean, it's easy to kind of like farm and get bust out those levels so you can get those skins. But then my one buddy, what he does is to make it a little bit harder, to add difficulty. What him and another guy do is they've already hit level 100 and hit tenure a couple times. So what they do is they will find ways to make it harder to play. Like, oh, we're not going to use PKE meters.
Right. Yeah, you got to find those challenges.
They find ways to make it more challenging. But like, I'm trying to see if I can find Sam Hain in here. He is friggin' he's phenomenal. The guy that they have doing his voice is great, but also like the DLCs, you don't have to buy the DLCs, which is great. Now, what they have
that's
done,
one of the crappy things.
What they have done though is like when they did Slimer, like to unlock Slimer or some of the earlier DLCs, what they did was they encouraged you to go on Twitch and watch Twitch streams of Spirits Unleashed, and it would register you as long as you had your account linked up. It would register, it would show it, and then it would unlock those skins for you.
Nice.
So it's a different thing, but it doesn't cost you anything extra. That's what's beautiful about this. They're not making you pay for anything extra. I still want to try because it's made by Ilphonic, and I still want to try their other game they just released this past June, Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
I'll pass. I'm not a fan of clowns. Clowns.
Come on.
Nope. Clowns. I hate clowns.
So you have the RGB PK meter.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, and the thing is also you get to go raise a cult is right next door.
Beautiful.
So they put it right next door. So you actually talk to Ray. You know, it is Dan Aykroyd's voice, just like when you talk to Winston, it's Ernie Hudson. And
Good.
they do drop Easter eggs here and there. Like, you know, at one point, Ray says, "Oh yeah, we can't wait for this summer. We're going to have visitors in the firehouse. This, you know, the Spanglers are coming." And you know, and you say, "Oh yeah, and I'm going to have an intern this summer." And it's like, wait a minute. They put that in the game like maybe 8 months before Frozen Empire.
Very cool.
So they were kind of like laying some breadcrumbs here.
Well, we'll have to pay attention before the next movie. Well,
this person made like an old Aegon. So
very cool. I dig it.
Yes, sir.
I gotta say though, brother, I gotta roll out here.
Yes,
but
sir.
This has been fun. Always love doing the chats with you here, and you know, man, you're always welcome to come on Clubhouse any Saturday night you got free time. Bring the missus with you one time. Have her jump in, talk about her collection.
She is all Deadpool and Stay Puft.
Hey, man, she was into Motu. You know.
She keeps it on. She keeps her stuff pretty much packaged, but yeah, I had got her the Sorceress Tila, got her all that. So
awesome.
Okay, it's been good hanging out. I have to get off this as well because I need to make dinner.
Yeah, you better go do that, dude. It's like 9:30 here.
Well, it's 9:30 here as well. I work till 7 o'clock at the new job, so. And I got things printing, so I got to check on that. And I will catch you later, man.
See you, brother. Have a good one.
Take care. Bye. Okay, everybody. So, like I said, I was just going to do a quick stream, turned it into an hour and a half. Because we got talking Ghostbusters, of course. But, guys, anyone who's watching this, either live or on replay, don't forget the School Lunch Fundraiser. All you have to do is go to this website right here. We have that in the video description below, of course. All you have to do is make a $10 donation, take a screenshot of that donation, and message it to either Dre the Collector Safe Space or at Dave's_Dimension, both on Instagram. You only need to send it to one of us. Just send us your name and your screen name and your real life name, and you're going to be entered in on the wheel. Like I said, we're going to be doing a stream sometime in early November. It's going to be before the holidays. Don't worry, guys. We're going to do this like in early November because we have a lot of stuff going on with our families. But please consider donating. And if you can't, at least share this information out. You can find this information on my Instagram post and also on my Facebook post if you're friends with me on Facebook, of course. But guys, that's all we have going on for this week. I'm sure next week Archer will be back with his regular Thursday night show around 8:15ish on the Nerd Affiliated Experience there on the Nerd Affiliated YouTube channel. So please go ahead and support them. I believe Ramblin' Nerd, Anthony, and Archer are both out at New York City Comic Con. Just amazing, enjoying the sights, having a great old time. But guys, please consider checking out the School Lunch Fundraiser. Help them make a real difference here, because their goal is they're trying to make sure that kids are getting the proper lunches that they need, the proper health, that you're not just shoving, Franken beans down their throats. They're getting a proper nutritional lunch. And for those who can't afford lunches, that they are actually getting proper food as well, guys. So please consider doing that. But guys, until next time, you know what I'm going to say. I say it every single time. Well, I'll be seeing you guys on this Tuesday on Dave's Dimension on Tuesday Night Talks. Once again, if anyone ever wants to come onto the streams, my streams are always an open door. You just have to click the link, and Bob's your uncle, and you're there on the stream with me. If you have a YouTube channel, if you have an Instagram, you have a Twitter, you have an Etsy store you want to promote, all you have to do is message me at Dave's_Dimension on Instagram or email me at davesdimension78@gmail.com, and we can set up a time for you to appear on our Tuesday night streams, or we can record it on the weekends, whatever works out for you guys, depending on your schedules and your locations. But guys, that is it. Until next time, this is Dave from Dave's Dimension saying keep on busting. And you know what I'm going to say. I say it every single time. I will always, always catch you on the flip side. Take care, guys.
I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town. What the hell's wrong with me? I don't get along with anybody, honestly. I've been living in my